Alright, court preparation, the pre-trial prep. Alright, can I possibly open the handbook and still read that? No. Alright. Then let's just wait for this whole thing. I want to be able to get the full summary. I gotta make sure I know what's important. The bizarre case trial begins. Why was Chihiro murdered? Is the killer hiding within the group? Yes. Is there any help to be found in this series of murders? That it? Alright, that was not handy. Alright, so let me take a look at what my evidence is. The Monokuma file, Sakura's account. Hold up. Although Chihiro wanted to get stronger, she declined several invitations from Sakura and Ohina, and may have used the locker room late at night to avoid them. Despite this, Chihiro had stated that she desired help with her efforts. She may have been meeting someone in the locker room the night she was murdered. I guess that part doesn't make sense. Why would... Unless that's completely unrelated, but why would it all be a part of this if it was? The dumbbell, Monda's account... had told anyone willing to listen that she wanted to get stronger. Some assumed that due to her inferiority complex about being weak, she admired strength more than anything else. The card reader, the e-handbooks, the broken handbooks, Genocide Jack, Hina, keeping her distance from women, well, the carpets, and the posters getting switched. That's weird. Like I'm saying, I don't know how that fits in. And the handbooks, which is missing. Yep. Alright. I guess I've got everything I'm ever gonna have. Is my thing still set? Yeah, I guess it is. Let's do this noise!
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
Is this truly necessary?
If you can figure out who done it,
yeah, I get it.
Punish
I know.
Okay then, let's talk about the murder weapon.
It was a barbell! First, we have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. Alright, let's do this. Make your argument. The locker room dumbbell. Because nothing else could have been it.
Hero's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
Indeed.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I don't know what the buttons are. I'm using a different controller. Hang on. Whoa, influence gauge. No, I want the controls. All right, aim, the silencer. That's weird. Fast forward argument, open handbook, fire the truth bullet, the Y button. Okay, select truth bullet, concentrate. All right, it's the Y button. Yatta!
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Seriously?
Interesting.
Off by a country mile.
Would make for a powerful weapon.
All right, so screw that up. Hang on, what's the fast forward button? That would be B. Okay. Oi, the weapon had to be at the scene of the crime. There was something with a blood stain on it. Yes, I know. My reflexes were slow, I'm sorry.
It appears it was
And I failed to take into account the fact that I didn't have the same controls.
What kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
What? Wait, what? You think you have... Oh, crap! It wasn't a... Crap! Wrong. Okay, that wasn't a... Contradictions.
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt? I bet it was an iron pipe.
No! Son of a... Why am I so bad at life? Yes, okay, we don't... Okay. Iron pipe.
What kind of blunt instrument? I bet it was an iron pipe.
It wasn't, though! Yeah!
No, it's wrong.
Whew. That was about 1,000 times more difficult than it had to be.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime?
I would certainly hope so.
It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
Well, I mean, they could have slammed her head really hard against one of the gym exercise equipment machines. I mean, that would have worked.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell.
Okay, well, I didn't know that, but there you go, even more proof.
As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Yes! That's so creepy!
I mean, yeah, it is kind of messed up, but it's also, like, a good idea.
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Which is why you're taking such an unbelievably large amount of focus in this case.
What? Shihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
And that's a complete and total load. Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? A new element has been added to non-stop debates. Oh, fantastic. All right. For this debate, lights of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your truth bullets will disappear if they hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. But there's a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the A button to attach the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. Oh, I guess that's what the silencer is. However, if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time limit will decrease, so take careful aim when you have your silencer out. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. And it isn't, so there you go. In which case, you can forget about the silencer and just focus on the situation in front of you. Well then, good luck and have fun. Ooby KB. I gotta shoot the white noise, but first I need to figure out what I need to do. The Genocide Jack case file. Alright, what's up?
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
That's impossible.
I was trying to figure out what I was supposed to be doing.
What makes it impossible?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. There's just no proof for it.
I mean, I guess there's this!
No, that's wrong.
I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to fall into Byakuya's trap for a while, I guess, before I can figure this noise out.
No one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
God only knows.
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now.
I mean, to be fair, it is irrelevant.
More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case.
Neither of which apply to this case, which I'm sure I'm going to have to point out at some point.
The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
You just keep on existing, don't you?
No. It's actually bloodlust.
God. Ugh.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
As I have no choice. The other characteristic of every Genocide Jack case, which the world at large doesn't know. If I'm not mistaken, it has to do with the positioning of the body. The victims were positioned. Bloody message, where it took place. No, it's how it's positioned. I guess if that's what we're specifically setting on.
In every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way.
In a crucifix-like motion.
Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro is most definitely suspended in the same way.
Although not in the same way. I mean, in the same way, but not the same way.
How did the culprit know about this, when only high-level police officials were aware of it?
Because you know.
There's only one logical answer I can think of.
Well, there's two. Either A, your theory is correct, in which case it's not, because you're lying. Or two, you did it because you knew about it. Herp, derp, a gerp, burp,
Because
burp.
the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yeah, Toko.
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
Booyah! Well, there you go.
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
That would explain why she's so frigging weird. He truth!
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Again, it's a split personality dealie. Also, that's a lie, because again, Junko got shish kebabbed and she didn't seem to have a problem with that in the slightest.
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Wow, you really gotta phrase it so vaguely?
Another riddle? Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
It's a riddle for sure, but I feel like I understand it. What it means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but also to not be Toko. The answer is that she's just not one person, but multiple people, right? Okay, apparently I gotta, oh. Okay, it's a hangman's gambit thingy, alright. What word am I looking for here? He... Okay, apparently S. Okay. Schizo? Is that what? I mean, that's the offensive way of pronouncing schizophrenia, but okay. Is that what I'm looking for?
Now I understand.
All right then. It's a good thing so many S's going on screen, or I probably wouldn't have figured that out.
Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Huh?
Heh.
I think I read that somewhere in the file too.
You don't think, you know, dude. It wasn't that long ago.
They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Multiple personalities.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Why are so many people defending her?
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
Again, didn't react to Junko. I feel like that bugs me. Anyway, her behavior changed. She fainted. She arrived late. Yeah, her behavior changed entirely. Stopped stuttering and stuff.
How she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
She had derp face. Like weapons-grade derp face. And lots of giggling. And she just kind of said weird stuff. Alright then, there you go.
She's acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Too bad, I do it anyway. You can't stop me! Can't stop, won't stop!
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm.
True dat.
In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
Because of the murderings. I will admit, you are managing to, you know, concoct a very bulletproof wall. Hell, in fact, if split personalities work the way I think they do, Toko can't even defend herself because for all intents and purposes, she probably thinks she did do it. So it's a very good lie you've got yourself going here, but I'm assuming, seeing as how Makoto's kind of just fallen for this whole thing, hook, line, and sinker, that we're going to need Kyoko to jump in and help out.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
I mean, she was mumbling about it a lot. It's kind of her thing. Yep, that's what she said. Having control.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
Which I fail to see how that would work. If your other personality showed up, they could just unbar the door and walk out. So, I'm not sure what you were really planning on doing there.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
Well, that certainly would explain why she's so absurdly standoffish.
How? Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her.
Hmm?
What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
What, did she tell you?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation.
Well, this was a terrible idea. Oh, right. That's another thing that happened all before the case. Her being a super creepy lady.
She told me a most interesting story.
About being creepy.
She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
Well, yeah, I mean, if I had a different personality that was also a murderer that somehow never got caught, yeah, I guess I'd probably be as reclusive and standoffish as possible, too. I still don't like her, but yeah, okay.
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
I mean, Monokuma did say she was important to all of this, and, I mean, he's not lying.
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
I somehow doubt that.
What?
Yep, there you go.
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
I mean, you really should have expected that.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to.
It's true. I mean, I hate siding with him in any regard, but at the same time, like, out of everybody in the entire building, you tell him?
This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale.
I mean, I guess I do feel a little bad for her. I'm not completely without sympathy. I mean, this is a really messed up situation.
Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone.
And it didn't.
But in spite of that promise...
Gotcha. Wow, this is a really good fabrication.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me.
Why do I get the feeling he did not say that?
That's the only reason I promised.
How many times do I have to tell you? I never said that.
I believe him.
But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
Considering the fact that she didn't do it in this regard, you are being really cruel about this. Like, don't make any mistakes. Like, I hate you both, but like, this is a serious eviler than thou type situation.
I tried. I swear I tried to control it,
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
So now I have to prove on how that she couldn't have done it.
I hate you.
Yeah, well, get on board, everybody does.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person? You don't mean...
I'm pretty sure that... I'm pretty sure he does, and I don't think this is a good idea. Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second... Yeah, what the salty hell?
Is it me you were hoping to see?
Did I just say what the salty hell? The hell is up with the freaking chili pepper for a tongue? The hell?
What the heck?
That is next level creepy!
So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do?
And now that I've gotten past the extraordinarily creepy face, that voice sounds really familiar.
I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
Alright, let's go with that then.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, this is pretty weird.
What happened to you?
The bloodlust! Oh, that's why she writes that.
Not Toko, that's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
No, you shouldn't. Wow. This gal was blessed with two personalities, and both are extraordinarily annoying. Who'd have thought?
So intense.
It's like a double whammy.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
Nobody says that. Also, put that thing back in your head.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know.
Hey, there you go. You said something not entirely crazy.
Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie.
Not necessarily. See, now you're delving back into the crazy pants.
Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
Now I think you're just talking for the sake of talking. And the laughing. That is annoying. Please stop with that. This is the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack? This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
That sounds like a bad idea, but go for it.
What's up?
Wow, that actually seems creepier. The hell's up with that?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you, I am the mastermind of all masterminds!
Why do I feel like that's a lie?
Just kidding!
And there you go.
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true. How dare dare you try to link me to that creepazoid?
True that. This genocide lady is definitely more balanced than you could ever dream of being.
And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless.
Yeah, you keep talking about that.
I mean, they just let
I don't care.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people.
I don't really know how much of anything I should be listening. I mean, anything she's saying, I don't know how much I should actually, like, pay attention to. I mean, crazy is as crazy does.
It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, that's what a crazy person would say.
Just kidding again!
Okay, this is just weird.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death.
Doubt it.
There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
What's the motive?
A motive?
I don't see one.
Remember what Monokuma told us?
I'm listening.
If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed.
Oh. Wow, you really thought this all through.
Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined.
Well, I mean, that was probably going to inevitably happen no matter what.
So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting.
That voice is driving me nuts. It sounds really familiar to me.
But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
I mean, I believe you, which is a really weird thing to be able to say to a face like that.
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
No, I mean, still, Byakuya. I mean, there you go.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Well, maybe if you guys had all the evidence stored in your pants that I do, you might be able to.
Yeah, I could never believe a word you say, you monster.
He ponders a ponderous thought ponderingly. Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said, I need to get some more details about all of this. Whoa, it's the spinning table! Alright, what do I got? Status of the dead body. Gotcha. I can't believe I'm about to help out a murderer get away with not murdering somebody.
But I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
I do.
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
No! It does not! You lying liar from Liesvale! Seriously, if you wanted this to be 100% clear cut, you should have gone the extra mile and got some knives.
Murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that.
I'm gonna have to agree.
I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
How's it any different?
There are multiple differences, if I'm being honest.
Oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction.
Yep, like a sociopath.
I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things.
Otherwise known as a modus operandi.
Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
This sounds a lot like the spiel that Celeste went on.
This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense.
Or is at least not coated in 17 gallons of liquid crazy.
There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Boom shakalaka, let's do this. There's one clear difference between the murders. In the photos from the other Genocide Jack cases, look at the neck and stomach. Here you'll see the style of the bloody message. The fatal injury, first and foremost.
For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way.
With snippy snippers.
According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors.
Which is phenomenally specific.
But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
At least somebody's been swayed.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method?
Especially if they are really legitimately this and crazy.
And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
Thank you.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Please stop ruining Italian food.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
Thank you.
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
Yeah, it's not stabbed to the wall. Again, I don't know how you have the upper body strength to pull that sort of thing off, but I guess that's neither here nor there. In the photos of the other Genocide Jack cases, all the other victims were stabbed through their hands. Have you here? You'll see a clear difference. How the body was posed, when she was suspended, what was used to suspend her. I don't know why we're using the female adjective.
Remember what the killer used to
Pronoun.
suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrist.
Oh, you're talking about in context of Chihiro. All right.
What is your point?
Many things.
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
The same with the stabbing.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement.
Yeah, how exactly do you go about doing that? Because it looks like you use a lot of them, because you don't take them back if the photos are any indication.
Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else?
I'm listening.
Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac?
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
If anything, he's a little Mac. And even then, that's kind of that name's already kind of been taken.
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Is it the difference that I theorized?
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
They are all dudes!
Pattern.
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
I still don't know what that word really means. Let's see. There was a pattern surrounding the Genocide Jack victims, and Chihiro didn't fit it. If you look at the names of every victim, what you'll notice is... I think I figured it out. I know why she couldn't have killed Chihiro. Because... well, that would be a weird thing to shout. No!
I got it!
Genocide Jack don't kill ladies!
Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo, bullseye, right on the money!
What are you talking about?
So many things are being spoken of!
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
Da-da-da-la, look at all these names and numbers. I'm not gonna try and read all of them again. I had enough trouble the first time.
They were all guys?
There you go!
That's right! The people I killed with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men!
I mean... went from being helpful to just plain creepy again.
I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
A lot of things, clearly. I don't know why you're asking.
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it.
Oh, so Hifumi was right about that. Go fig.
But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
I refuse to Google that word.
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid.
I mean, I guess if he was hungry and it was like 3 in the morning.
I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it.
Were you planning this too?
It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lolly curve!
I am phenomenally okay with that sentence.
Lowly cur?
The lowliest of all curs. Get a haircut.
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious
True that. Had she done things... Yeah, if she followed her exact same modus operandi, boom shakalaka, case closed, it would have been done like dinner. And if she was trying to survive, she wouldn't make it obvious. She'd just not kill in the way that she would normally kill. Because then we would have all picked her out, and she would have gotten killed no matter what. There you go. There's a big ol' hole in your story.
That does make some amount of sense.
It makes all the sense. Look at his face. I see it over there.
Whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
I mean, yeah, that's a fair point.
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class, envy of the entire world scissors!
The kind that can cut flesh, evidently.
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
I was until a few moments ago, yeah. Seriously, I gotta ask, what is the deal with the tongue? Stop with the tongue. Ain't nobody need to ain't nobody need to see that.
She's fully equipped.
Also, how did you still have those?
That's right, so I can kill anywhere, anytime. Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side?
Well, there you go. Full on, straight out. You didn't do it.
Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you. Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. The rope's totally out of the question anyway.
Again, I really do need to point out how weird it is defending a murderer on a specific murder that they didn't do. I mean, they did lots of other ones, but it's not this one, and I'm defending them on that aspect. It's really kind of surreal.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
Apparently.
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Except for Byakuya.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Huh. The fact that we've come to this conclusion so quickly has given me pause. Actually, hold on. There is one other person. One person would have copied the Genocide Jack cases. Select someone. Bada boop, bada bing, bada bop, bada boop, bada bop. Yeah, that face is funny looking.
Here's my answer.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Hence the whole, you know, creation of all this. Plus, there's all of that other evidence that I have that I haven't used for anything. Yeah, there's something up here.
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
I mean, it would be nice to get him out of the game so I wouldn't have to deal with his smug face anymore, but now I'm kind of doubting it.
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Yeah, okay, your talking privileges have been revoked.
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me.
He either has a really good mystery that I have to unravel to get to him, or there is something else going on here.
Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
How you were all so freakishly gung-ho about the whole thing. Like, hey, let's go into this room. This looks suspicious. Oh, hey, there's the body. Derp-a-doo. You're very suspicious. Let's just barge right in. Oh, hey, look, a body. Let's go investigating.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say?
I mean, among other things, yeah.
The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
And you knew it was Chihiro beforehand. How?
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
How'd you know it was her who
On the
died?
contrary, there's something very strange.
The most strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it?
How am I the only one who's figured that out?
Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
There was a clear contradiction in what Bakuyas just said. Bok Choy, I need to make it clear to everyone. A new element. Oh boy. Next, we're going to add something called a truth flashback. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down the Y button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make your case. So use a weak spot to break a weak spot? What's the best time to flashback? Well, you'll just have to use your keen wits, won't you? In this case, though, I will say that if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Well, otherwise, why would you bring up the entire mechanic if I wasn't supposed to use it here? Okay, alright. Let's give it a try, I guess. I mean, obviously, that is completely pointless.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Yeah.
But he was acting weird... how?
In many ways.
You're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room.
You absolutely take it!
If you're a weirdo.
Natural reaction for any guy!
For perverted
The
guys.
victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So, of course, I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first.
Is that what I wanted?
There's no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
A lot of things.
You wish you'd taken me with you.
Stop being so creepy! Okay, so do I still have that thing? Hearing Bakuya's comment about Chihiro being a girl, I realize there's a clear contradiction there, because it doesn't make sense how he could have known before we'd even found it. Okay, I need to make that contradiction clear. Do I still have the thing? I do!
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
I did say that.
But he was acting weird... how?
I shall tell you.
You're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room.
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So, of course, I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first.
Okay, I think I have the wrong one. All right, hang on. Let me try again. Let me try again here. All right. Yeah, let's go for it one more time. One more time. Another round.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Right. Oh.
But he was
Booyah.
acting
Okay.
weird...
Yeah, I gotcha. Let's just cut out through all the creepy nonsense.
The victim was Chihiro.
Ah, I'm pushing all of the wrong buttons. Baka
Of
Choco!
course, I would suggest
What?
we check the girls' locker room first.
What?
There was no time for pointless distractions.
How is that?
What's so strange about that?
What?
You wish you'd taken me with you.
What? How is that? How is that not it? Before we found the body, and then you said the victim was Jared before we found the body. How?
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we...
I am very confused now. How am I?
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's a natural...
The victim was Chihiro.
Booyah! What, it worked that time? What was different between that time and the last time?
I'll tell you what's so strange about that.
Now my head hurts.
Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
Oi.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
How so?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
Show what? What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
Unless he's just trying to psych me out.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it.
Oh, thank God you're talking again.
We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents.
The cord.
The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
It's hidden in the cord.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Dot, dot, dot. The differences between this case and the other genocide Jack murders, the evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is there. What could it be? Alright, is the rope, is that what I'm getting, the cord? The library desk lamp? I guess that's all I have to go with. Alright.
The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again?
Yeah, sure.
When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the bodies.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
It was not.
It absolutely was!
It was not.
There must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Lies and slander of the size of cabbages! I'm running out of exclamations. Not good.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say...
Extensione cord.
That extension cord?
Aw, shucky ducky.
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you?
I only assume because you're the only one here who's a big enough nerd to go to the library constantly.
And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder.
J'accused. Good luck reading without that.
Anyone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
The eyebrows command it.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message.
I mean, I guess?
I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it.
That much, yes.
Is that about right?
Yes. ... He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned, although his brow was most furiously furrowed. As if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
Stop using the English language!
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
And just to cover all bases, stop using Japanese too.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Apparently.
Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
And at this point, I am officially lost. If he didn't do it, then I have no clue who did.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you?
Why you gotta be such a jerk about it?
I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime.
Unless he's using his unbelievably large amount of confidence and willpower to just, like, oh yeah, I totally did it. Like, in a way of making me think, wait, why is he acting like that if he did it?
Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath.
It makes sense.
What about all that bothers you?
Well, the fact that you did it. I mean, that's probably what bothers me the most out of all of this, but... I mean... Yeah. Wait. What was that just now? Something not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean... Can I really just accept what Byakuya said as the truth? No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said. Oh, right! The rug and the, posters! They got switched! Which would imply this happened in the boys' locker room and got moved to the girls' locker room?
I got it!
Why? I don't...
You say you
okay.
killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
I mean, anything is possible if you believe.
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown.
And as the king of disappointment, only you would have the right to make such a claim.
She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later.
I mean, otherwise, why would I have had that conversation with Sakura?
Along with the rest of the murder scene.
At least as much of it that could be moved as possible.
The rest of the murder scene?
The rest of the murder scene!
That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I have so many reasons!
I believe I do.
Alright, let's break it down. Hey, Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? Which is pretty amazing. I hope we get to do that a lot. When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who had been so confident up till now, maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else?
Hey, don't just move on without permission. What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Don't tell me what to do! My brain moves at its own pace. If you can't keep up, that's not my fault.
Come on, Makoto.
Don't tell me what to do!
If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Stop yelling at me! Evidence that shows that the murder took place somewhere else. There was something that was switched between the boys and the girls' locker rooms. Okay, well, I know the posters were, and possibly the rugs too, but there's a lot of equipment underneath that, so I'm not sure about that. But this above all else!
I got it!
Let's have fun talking about this.
The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Man, that sounds stupid without the rest of the context behind it.
Your proof is some posters?
I am the most proofful.
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange?
Did you really need to use that exact descriptive term?
Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
Yeah, to be inclusive.
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Can we not? Can we not talk about that part?
Meanwhile,
It's not important.
the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado.
Maybe the posters just aren't judging.
Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
Because of the blood ghost curse blat?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms.
We gonna bring up the rugs?
You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
I mean, in a roundabout way, yeah.
Protein coffee?
Get on my level, Hifumi!
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet.
I am clumsy that way.
But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
By God, the murderer was Mr. Clean! No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved! Oh, do I have to, like, actually... Third alert.
I got it!
Have a rug!
The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
Because nobody bothered to even look in that room.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
What, did I take a picture of it? Or did I just have the entire rug in my pants?
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too?
I mean, there was blood on the carpet too, so switching them would have made sense.
But why would anyone do that?
That is a good point. I don't see the point in switching the locale of the murder.
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
Completely plausible, I just don't understand why.
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
I don't have an answer!
Huh?
And apparently neither do you!
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime?
No clue!
Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
Oh, sweet merciful God, I just figured it out. Oh my God! Is that possible? All this talk about the complex, not talking to the girls, but talking to the guys. Hesitation. The fact that it all took place in the boys' locker room. Oh my god. I'm not gonna make this sort of jump until I have more proof, though.
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room.
You'd think, but,
She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
maybe?
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
Why do I doubt it?
I highly doubt that.
Haha!
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Why do I constantly say things that the most insane and creepy of the people in this game also say? I'm deeply disturbed by that fact. Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? I have a theory. But again, I'm not saying anything until it's actually happened. The Broken Book.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Uh-huh.
I got it!
You do?
She must have hacked her e-handbook.
Oh, well, that's actually possible.
Ultimate programmer, after all.
Right.
I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it.
How so?
She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
Broken!
No, it's wrong.
Well, I don't know if that's a contradiction, but it seems to have been what I needed to do anyway, so I'll just take it.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Also, how do you know about that?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
But I thought it wasn't. Brain hurt!
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
That's the kind of guy he is, apparently.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
You can still steal them.
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Who said you could talk?
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts glaring.
Disturbingly forward thinking from you.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Then my theory is rapidly gaining water.
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Look, I don't know if Makoto's gonna come to this conclusion, so I sure hope somebody else can.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room, and Byakuya's the one who did it. Really? Still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second.
Huzzah! The savior with the pink hair!
I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
Or purple hair. Either way, I would definitely not call it silver.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say?
I have many things to say. Or she does. I hope. Help me out here.
There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
Either we're thinking the same thing, or there are two.
What? What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Oh, no.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Oh, boy.
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
For real?
It was easy.
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
That's what I think it is. I think you already know.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
I guess. Before I knew even what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead, and where she took us was... Oh, Kyoko.
The girls' locker room?
When you told me to examine Chihiro's body thoroughly, you meant a different kind of thoroughly.
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
Yep, this is going exactly where I think it's going.
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You should really just say where.
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Why don't you just tell us?
Carefully? Like, using our hands?
Hifumi, you're a creepy weirdo. Why don't you do it?
No way, no way, no way, no way, no way!
Okay, well, I guess you're not that creepy. Still creepy, but not that creepy.
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
Most would definitely choose to not do that.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Very well. I'll do it.
Stepping up to the plate!
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her.
And here I'm thinking that might not be the case.
So just leave this to me.
Oh.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
My uncomfortable levels have peaked. They've gone into full-on elephant noise territory.
Okay, here I go.
Here it comes.
I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief pair, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Oh my god, just say it already!
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
She found it!
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
It's apparently possible enough that the game decided to take the swerve right into this crazy zone.
This girl is...
Is what?
A boy?
Is a boy!
Oh my god!
Ah, I see. So, she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
And a 3, and a 2, and a 1, and thank you!
You're joking, right?
Why would she joke about this?
I wouldn't joke about this.
That would be a weird thing to joke about.
Ben, it's really true?
Apparently.
Chihiro was a guy?
You know, ordinarily I'm able to figure out that kind of plot twist pretty easily. Somehow it took me a while here.
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat.
Well, I would assume.
Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
Now, the reason as to why that is the case that Chihiro decided to go through with, I know not. Nor is it my place to speculate in this given area. So, how about we all just collectively decide to say that it doesn't actually mean anything to the case, and now we know exactly why Chihiro went into the boys' room, because where else? And that would be why that he, I guess, didn't want to go in, because then it would reveal the secret. Why ever the secret is a secret, I don't know why it would be a secret, but it was, and that's their business, not mine.
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting.
Why didn't you just say that? Why did Sakura have to feel him up?
Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
I mean, I guess maybe we wouldn't have immediately taken your word for it, but still I feel like there was probably a more tasteful way to go about this. Yeah, okay.
I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial.
Okay.
We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Okay.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
Chihiro had a reason for not divulging that secret, and I shall respect that fact. Think that Chihiro was actually a guy. The thought never even crossed my mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Yeah, I mean, there you go.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
I can't imagine why it wouldn't. I mean, well, I feel like no matter the reason behind it, whatever the reason, Monokuma would definitely list his, I guess, physical gender as a means of maybe morally taunting him. This is a really uncomfortable topic, and I don't want to offend people, and I don't know what to say. Can we drop the topic?
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
But what if they didn't want to be a dude? Then it becomes a topic I have no right to talk about, so knock it off.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion.
Please move on.
The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room.
I don't know if it sounds like I'm laughing, but I'm not.
And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
Okay, good, we're moving from it.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I guess so.
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd.
Alright, there we go. We got something here.
I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
What are you doing staring so much, you creepy weirdo?
This is the most titillating...
Stop talking!
Now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Well, except for who did it.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
But, no. He can't be. Because he didn't know that Chihiro was a guy. And how would he not know that? If that was the case.
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
Well, to be perfectly frank, he never actually left his little world. I'm pretty sure he's been there since day one.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
I don't think so, no, but if it isn't him, I honestly don't know who it is.
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
Well, in the first place, it made more sense.
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
I mean, he might be a really good actor, but that's neither here nor there.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt.
Yeah, it's funny because he's bad at it.
He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it.
Yeah, you wouldn't talk, would you?
And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you.
At least slightly.
And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy.
I heard the high-pitched girlish squeal coming from you.
If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
In fact, you'd probably lord the information over us like the, you know, pompous twit that you really are.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Whatever.
Mark it as correct?
What, was this like a test?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
But when you walked in, why didn't the Gatling gun go off?
Are you fucking with us right now?
Although, by Jove, that would have been a really weird-looking murder scene. They'd both be dead in there, one through getting hit in the head and the other through a gun. Like, how on earth would we have ever figured that out?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay, that's actually pretty funny.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My best guess is he's a weirdo.
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say?
I guess.
Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
They're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
Y'all haven't been listening, have you?
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility.
For a mental note, spend more free time events with Kyoko. And our goal will be to figure out what her deal be.
Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Apparently.
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Oi.
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
As far as I'm aware.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
So y'all just, I guess, blatantly decided to make this entire ordeal an hour longer than it had to be? Y'all a bad person, dude. If you didn't do it, I don't know. There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer was able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means that... Okay! Oh! Alright. Of course, then that would just mean Bihahuya and Kyoko and Celeste, Sakura, and Hina. Which means that the killer would have to be Hifumi, Taka, or Mondo.
I got it!
Unless something's happening with Makoto that I don't recognize. So, yeah. But I can't think of a single reason any of them would do that. Oh, right, and Yashihiro. Forgot about him. Dude has a real non-presence to him. Since the crime scene was at the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since the young handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to be a guy. That's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Alright. What kind of information do I have to work with? Celeste. What's this have to do with it?
Single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Yeah.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Ah, yeah, okay, that would make sense.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
I just need a contradiction.
It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer.
Lies and slander! You Afro-Abaddon! As if there were any other kind of Abaddon.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes. I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Yep.
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this.
Ole Makoto. I actually kind of like the way that was pronounced, Makoto.
The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Ugly noises befitting an ugly face, Booyakasha!
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse.
What you were doing there, I haven't the slightest, but it's also irrelevant. I don't know. You're looking for
I
pants.
saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
jacket in a duffel bag. But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
And I checked the trash room.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
But how? They can't get through the trash room.
And that is when you said something that struck me as rather odd.
In what regard? Also, I just now realized 2 people in this room have red eyes. That's a weird eye color. Cool, though. Very striking. I better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry.
But what does it mean?
But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
Yeah, I guess.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
I guess?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
For the obvious reasons.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Huh. The only person I can think of that might fit the bill is the only one who hasn't been talking lately.
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much.
But I don't know why he would do that. Seemed perfectly fine with Chihiro. Why would he kill him? Them. Why would he kill Chihiro? Let's just go with that.
Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
Yee!
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
I mean, I have a guess, but I don't really have much reason to found it off of.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
I do?
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
I do?
Seriously? Who is it? Who's the killer?
Interesting that you would ask.
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of.
Okay.
Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
The duffel bag with a blue tracksuit.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
She seems fairly confident.
Why? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
Kyoko might.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Other than, you know, the dumbbell. I mean, that would probably have some fingerprints on it.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say.
Yee.
But fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
I got nothing.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from.
I would not know that.
Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Man, if you know everything, why we gotta do this the long and confusing way? Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow, it's really hard to believe. Oh lordy, we're into doing this now. Okay. What do I have to work with? Just Celeste's account again. Okay.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise.
Yee.
So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! We picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
Maybe?
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit.
Not surprising.
Exercising sucks.
It really does.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
Not that I can tell.
No way. Not a chance.
I have no idea.
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
I did? she's right. What he said just... Who? How did he know something like that?
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed.
Okay, I have to pay super attention.
On his way to go exercise.
Right.
So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is...
I have it!
The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
How do you know that? How do you... No, whoa! I know that because of the thing! Because of the thing! Because of the picture, the flashback. I know, but how do you know, Mondo? Oh my god, Mondo did it? How and why? Okay, I'm not sure how Celeste's account is really a contradiction to this fact, and I can't think of anything else, so... Okay, come on. How did you know that the tracksuit was blue? I ask you questions, Mondo! I ask you questions, and then please explain why. You seem totally cool with Chihiro.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
Some words! Some pointy words. I saw him stuffing a track's jacket into a duffel bag, and then I assume he headed off to exercise.
She never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
I have no idea why he would have done this, though!
What are you just...
Hey, Celeste. What color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
If you even know.
As a matter of fact, it was blue?
Well then!
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
I can't imagine why you would have.
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
And why?
Because I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died. That's the only possibility.
Who's Cherry?
Are you talking about Chihiro?
Your nicknames make no sense.
So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night.
Oh, sweet merciful crap. He did do it!
He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony...
Stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, gone!
When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
Due to the hiding! Why, Mondo? I mean, I know you decked me across a gymnasium, but what did Chihiro do?
It would appear you dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it?
I guess?
Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
You did?
But why? What made you so suspicious?
I am legitimately curious.
That's a good question.
The way he talked, the way he was acting, because I hate him! Because I hate him! Wait, am I actually going from her perspective? That's weird. Nothing really weird about the way he was acting, the way he talked?
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick.
Oh my god, and he called Chihiro dude!
And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude.
I didn't even think about that!
Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
Namely the gender thing.
Notice such a tiny detail.
Well, I mean, I noticed it, but I didn't... I mean, I noticed its existence, but I didn't think there was anything worth noticing about it. So I guess I didn't.
You're positively frightful.
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
That is screwed up. Why you do it? Why you do it?
Mondo, was it really you?
Why you do it?
Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone!
Oh boy.
You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah! He would never do something like that! This is a false accusation!
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
I have no idea anymore. I'm just kind of riding the wave.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come.
How do you do that with your voice?
That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Huh?
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Please actually be something useful.
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
We ain't got nothing else to go off of, so sure, what'd you think of?
If you really insist, then... here it is.
What do you have there?
That would be a handbook.
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
Where'd you find it? You found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to... I guess Chihiro's? I mean, Chihiro's was missing.
Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
Because you stole it?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Where did you find it?
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
Really?
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
But how?
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
Monokuma constantly goes on and on about how they aren't fragile, and now I'm gonna have to listen to his voice say it again.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall.
But Leon's is not broken, but it won't turn on.
For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
I'm trying to think and my brain hurts.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere?
Apparently.
How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
How did the handbook break? There's only one possible explanation. By hacking it, by hitting its weak point. You said there was one.
I got it!
You just didn't tell me what it was.
You told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that?
I remember everything. I'm weird like that.
Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then
we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness.
Snap! I would have actually snapped my fingers, but I don't know how. Okay, so that's what he meant by Leon's handbook isn't broken, but it won't turn on. That wasn't his handbook! It was Mondo's? How'd he figure out how to break it? And how?
You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example?
I promise you nothing.
Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
The sauna! That's why that was a scene!
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
Why didn't you tell me that beforehand?
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh?
It's something about your sweat making a shield. I read about that somewhere. It doesn't matter.
Because as your sweat
Yeah, cool, whatever.
air of the sauna
Nice science lesson, I don't care! Murder mystery! Shush, 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 don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. No one cares!
is a mere trifle.
Whatever!
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
And the only two people that would even... the only two people that had even been in there were Taka and Mondo.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
And he didn't take his clothes off, which means he didn't take his handbook out.
How'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
It all makes sense, but I still have no motive.
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
She means by accident, as in they did not intentionally do it.
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that?
Mondo!
I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I do.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa, seriously?
It's all because they chose me to be the witness.
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
One of the only two people I know of that would even use the dang thing. And I think Taka knows too. Sorry, dude. Yep, the only person who wore their clothes in the sauna. But I don't understand why. Why you do this, Mondo? I want an explanation so badly.
Your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Because he's the only one who would have made sense. You didn't keep your clothes on, otherwise I'd be suspecting you too.
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember?
The most intensive bro-offs.
Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
Useful information! In retrospect, you probably should have went back in and got it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
Well, we could ask to see his handbook, and if it says it's Leon's, then we'll know that he broke it and took a new one. But I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Oh boy. Okay, what's next, what's next, what's next? Making my argument. Yeah, the broken one, I guess.
Let's test Makoto's assertion.
Okay.
If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Yeah.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Does it though?
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all. Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly.
Do I really just point the broken one at him? I guess so. If I can just prove that, the Mondo must actually be.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually, then that proves that...
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Does it though? Why don't you just show us that it works? Then you would be you'd be completely scot-free if you just did that.
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
Exactly what it sounds like?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall. Isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
It's all very simple.
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own.
Who would know the difference?
After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's.
All we have to do is look at it and we can figure that out.
Which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
Yes, yes.
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
He didn't loan it. He took it.
Well, here's how I look at it.
I'm sure it's an offensive way.
There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student.
Yeah, because you think dead people are objects. Yeah, we got that. Thank you. It's very screwed up.
It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Oi!
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch. What's wrong, bro? Come on, tell him he's wrong. You are wrong. You have to be wrong. Everything you just said is wrong. You made it all up.
Why would I make it up?
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning. That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Ooh, we gonna do that neat comic book thing again? I like that. Okay, alright. Make sure gotta do this the right way. Alright. So, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Creepy lady. Super glare. And let's see here. What do I have to work with? Would be her pointing at it, like so. Alright. So then, let's see. Right, she points at it. Shuffle, shuffle. Off it goes. I still don't have a motive and I'm confused. Alright. It's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, alright, so let's see. What do we got? What do we got? I'm not entirely sure. I guess holding up the card and then having the card read? I guess that's my best guess. All right. Look at the next one, and it's just a full-on FUD. And I guess that would be the one of the guy holding the barbell, or lifting it at least. I'm guessing. And then Croc a thud, and that's unfortunate. Okay. But what comes then? Oh! Blood going on the poster. Gotcha. Alright. And then he'd be all like, oh dang, that's not good. Okay. Roll it up. Take it off. I'm not sure. I am uncertain. I guess no, because he's showing that. Okay, let's use the other ones. All right. Well, this is when Byakuya showed up, and he used the cord. And then he took her blood, because he's a screwed up mamma jamma this side of North Hampshire. And then through the book. What happens before that? Oh, yeah, probably just the shadow and the sauna. Alright. So then that means I'm just missing whatever that last one is. Oh, no, I'm missing two. No, that's not good. I guess putting the poster back up. And, going to the girls' locker room. Let's go!
That's exactly what happened.
Let's see!
First, let's take a look back to before the incident.
As far back as we can possibly remember.
Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct?
Yee!
At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste?
Bye-bye.
With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
We have come to the bizarre conclusion. Yes. What? What? Okay. So that's not the right one. Didn't I use the Dory thing? Maybe this is it? Let's check.
The killer is...
Let's try this!
With bag in...
Right. But did I pick the right one?
How could the...
Yeah! Alright. What? Son of a... Okay. Alright. I guess that just walking in?
Here's exactly what happened.
Just walk right in? Like a person who walks through doors, I guess. I'm not trying to make mistakes.
Made her way to the...
Right. Come on. Beep, in, and walks right in. Okay. Woohoo!
Because she was really a he.
The reasons are completely their own, and I will not judge them.
Which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room. Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him.
But why?
It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him.
Yo! I actually got that right.
And
Good job.
That's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from. It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned.
Heat of the moment! But why? I don't understand.
Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet, then removing the bloody poster, and finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course, but this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem. And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work.
Wait. We still don't understand why he did that.
They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch.
And then this weirdo decided to be weird.
That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated. So, after stumbling on the crime scene,
Like a weirdo.
he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, He left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings,
somehow
arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook.
Although that does lead to the question as to why Hifumi went into the sauna at all, but alright.
And that's how it all played out. Isn't that right, Mondo Orada?
But the why! The two whys!
Wait! No! This can't be right! Where's your evidence? Yeah! Where's your evidence? You need evidence! You need proof!
I thought I did.
Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him!
Evidence that Mondo is the killer. That already revealed itself earlier in the trial. It was the handbookie. If I could somehow show where Mondo's handbook is right now, once I do that, everything will become clear. A new element has been added to bullet time battles. Oh, so many things are always added. Why? Let's talk a little bit about fever time and nega time. During a bullet time battle, if you press the right bumper button, fever time will activate and the tempo will be forced to its max. At this point, even if you push the buttons at random, you won't miss. So you can push AY however you want and destroy the opponent's verbal assault. Okay, so I guess those are the buttons I use for the controller. Thank you for telling me. But this only lasts until your focus gauge runs out, so make the best possible use of your time. Of course, it wouldn't be fair if only you got access to special time, right? So we've also prepared something called Nega Time that your opponent can use. If the opponent activates Nega Time during the bullet time battle, your tempo marker will disappear, making it quite a bit tougher to hit the buttons in rhythm. Oh boy. If you were to activate Fever Time at this point... No, never mind. I'm sure nothing would happen. I don't know what I was worried about. Unsurprisingly, if your action difficulty is set to gentle, the opponent won't use Nega Time. And, well, then good luck and have fun. Oh boy. Okay, let's do this.
Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you.
I get that he was your friend, but come on, man. Is it worth possibly dying yourself?
Show me some evidence. I won't listen. False. I refuse to vote. Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. False.
Even I'm surprised I managed to pull that off somehow. Guess I have pretty good rhythm. Sorry about this, dude. I don't want anybody to die.
Thinking so far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. I did it. I killed him.
But why? I don't know why you do this. A passing grade is not enough to quell my deeply rooted sadness. Why these things happen?
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that.
Wait! Hold on!
No waiting, no holding on. Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice? or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Oi. Just as classy as before.
What?
This time it looks like you got it right again. Yes, it is so. The Blackened that killed Chihiro Fujisaki was Mondo Awada. What? Why? Are you ever gonna tell me?
Unbelievable.
In case you're wondering, the vote was not unanimous. Kiyotaka chose the wrong answer. You're treading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimaru. You need to be more careful. I refuse to believe it. There's no way he would kill someone.
Sorry.
Why are you apologizing? Why? Why did you do it?
Now then.
Well, looks like Mondo's taken a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf.
Actually...
The story of the murder this time is the sad story of two men. Oh, but for anyone who doesn't really want to hear it, you can hit the B button to fast forward the No, I'm very interested in this. Anyway, there was once a young boy, and his name was Chihiro Fujisaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak even though you're a boy. He'd heard things like that as long as he could remember, and he couldn't overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and buried himself further and further into that weakness, to take on the fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as his way out. Nobody will be able to say anything about even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself up in that shell, the inferiority complex had already taken root deep inside of him and was not so easily weeded out. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear, instead it only grew stronger and stronger. Oh.
Weak.
There's nothing wrong with that. Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, this world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. I don't think that's true. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets, which of course included Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge because of the aforementioned terrible person aspect. Even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy.
Hey,
And that was something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out no matter the cost. If that was revealed, it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack, the armor would fall away. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. I wouldn't have. Everyone figured being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling into despair. And yet...
I'm sorry.
I don't really want to talk about it right now. But I also don't want to leave things the way they are, so maybe I can talk about it later. After I try my best to become strong, then I can tell everyone. Annoyingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right.
Now's my chance.
I want to change.
I'm gonna get stronger and accept who I am. Strong enough so that when someone says even though you're a boy, I'll be okay. I'll get better. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action. And so... that day, he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to retrain his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it. Oh...
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask for someone's help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first, and then ask them to help him from there. And that person he went to...
Yeah, that's right.
was Mondo? Why'd he go to Mondo? The biker gang fella had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were, so Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep the secret. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will help give me some courage. So he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. That was his aspiration. And he thought that only with Mondo's support would he ever be able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then, that must be why Mondo did what he did, to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro. Huh? Did what he did? You mean, that's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room into the girls' locker room?
Indeed.
That's why he did it. Wasn't that to cover up what he'd done?
Certainly.
That could have been part of it, but I don't think it was the main reason. The real purpose was to keep the promise between men he'd made to Chihiro. But how does moving the body keep his secret? Because if everyone knew he'd been killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would have immediately began to suspect his identity, so he tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and stealing his handbook. So it wouldn't list his gender. Then Mondo did all that to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro, whom he'd also killed. Why would he do that? The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other, right? So why? Why did you? Because, no matter what, I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
So that's what triggered it after all. Didn't want what? What was on your card? The possibility of having your embarrassing memories and secrets exposed.
What is this?
That's impossible. Nothing could have been that bad. Something he didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing someone? It's impossible.
Don't make me repeat myself.
How many times? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know, I get it. Ha, 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 I am superior to all the others. No one cares. Well, while we're on the subject, why don't I tell you? That embarrassing memory, that secret he didn't want anyone to know.
Hey,
You know what Mondo did? He killed his own brother? What? Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, makes all the hoodlums and riffraff across the country tremble. But the only reason he had the chance to join a gang in the first place was because of a certain someone. Mondo's older brother's name was Daya Owada. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Daya that Mondo ever got on a motorcycle. Mondo's brother was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust or respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of the starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang, and before anyone knew it, it had grown into the biggest biker gang in the world. Daya, the older brother, number one in the gang, and as number two, his younger brother Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy, but when Mondo started to think about how he would have to take over the gang for his brother someday, his brother's greatness, his reputation, began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul. The kid's gonna take over for Daya, huh? Daya created this gang with his bare hands. Mondo's just along for the ride. Can someone like that really be our leader? All that'll do is make the gang look bad. Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers of the other members of the gang, which is why...
I just...
Gotta get stronger. Stronger than Daya. Once, just one time. No matter what, I gotta win.
Don't fuck with me.
I don't care what it takes, I gotta come out on top. And on the night of his amazing brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. But during the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed ahead with reckless abandon, eager for victory, and dashed into oncoming traffic. But suddenly... Laying in his kid brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words. "My bad, kid. I messed up. Sorry." Of course, he knew it was his brother's fault, but Daya never blamed him for what happened. "Hey, kid, the rest is up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep the gang together. 'Cause it's the team you and me put together. It's a promise between men." He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang. In order to keep the gang together and keep the promise to his brother, he could never admit to anyone that it was his own weakness that had caused the accident. And as a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who bested his big brother. Daya was going to lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got himself killed. That became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. He wanted to lead the team so bad he was willing to tell all kinds of lies about his brother. I'm strong. Strong. And yet, as soon as our killing game began, he realized, no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. Kuma! At that point, it was clear I would have no problem shedding light on his secret, seeing as how you just did. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I'd been carrying around, it would have been for nothing. So that's why. Hondo. After I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled up with a kind of fuzzy uneasiness and just started swirling around. I never felt anything like it before. I didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while, that fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety way down in my stomach. And it was right around then that Chihiro asked me to start working out with him. And right there, he told me a secret. Seriously? Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Sorry I lied to you. But why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden?
Huh?
Because, I mean, you've kept that secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would...
But...
You're right, but...
I want to change.
I wrap myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. His words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I'd been living myself. I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong, it can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us... Oh.
You piece of...
So what? You're saying I should just say it?
What?
You're saying if I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret?
Huh?
I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness, to try and overcome it. It was the kind of strength I've never had. So I was jealous of him. And that jealousy broke me.
What?
Are you making fun of me? I'm strong? Messing with me right now?
No!
I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Mondo. I felt like I could hear something starting to creak. Something inside my head. What did he want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit back, let my secret get revealed and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Why did you have to tell me all that? Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just wanted to...
Oh my god. I admire your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
I am strong. Strong, I'm strong. Oh my. Stronger than you.
You son of a bitch.
And stronger than Daya. I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was lying at my feet, covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand, and I was just staring at him down on the ground.
I killed him. I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
Hondo. He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness that lived in his heart like his, and it turned him cold-blooded. God damn it! What is so goddamn funny? Shut up!
Yep.
Oh my god. Punishing.
It can't be.
Well now.
Ridiculous.
Now then, prepared a very special punishment.
I can't. No. I can't take this.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
Oh.
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
Can't take this anymore. Why does this keep happening? He thinks this is funny. What? That is not how it works. Another murder. Another execution. I want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. I feel like I might be going mad. Maybe I'll just let it happen. As Taka's sad scream invaded our skulls, we were each forced to realize once again. But of course he had to. I swear to God, I will bend you over backwards and shove your head up your own ass where it belongs.
What is this?
One of her friends is dead. Do you realize that? Shut up!
Hey,
I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have a response except that
however,
I just don't understand why. Why did you go out of your way to disguise Mondo's crime?
What?
Why? Isn't it obvious? Because it made things more interesting. Please be the next victim. When the murder took place, I was in the library as usual.
Honestly.
So you ignored the nighttime rule too? That rule never mattered to me. I don't recall agreeing to it.
There is nothing to be done.
Well, I don't particularly care. Please continue. The night grew late, and I decided to return to my room, which is when I stumbled upon him. I spotted Mondo coming out of the girls' locker room. After he'd gone, I looked inside and saw the corpse. Of course. Such a fool, he didn't have the slightest idea that I'd seen him.
Well...
So you're saying you knew who the culprit was from the very beginning. You just prolonged everything.
That's right.
But if that had been the end of it, how boring would that have been? I mean, what a waste of time to have the answer revealed right at the beginning. Which is why I decided to lend a little helping hand. I thought it would liven things up. You are a monster.
I see.
So after hearing about Genocide Jack from Toko, you decided to use that to create the fake murder scene.
But
Damn, man, if we hadn't figured out who'd really done it, you would have been dead too, right? Well, obviously, I would have revealed the truth before it reached that point. Of course. Thanks to a certain remarkable someone, it never did, and I was able to perform an interesting experiment. Once I do decide to become blackened, I know who I'll have to watch out for. Oh, hell!
Correct.
So that was your reason. Are you satisfied?
Indeed.
Yes, we're done listening to your story. Moving on.
Hey.
There's something I'd like to ask Monokuma. Oh, great.
What's this?
You like to perform these elaborate executions each time, correct? My question is why? No. But you know, this punishment, this despair, it's not just for you. All this punishment, all the despair is my gift to mankind itself.
What?
You're over-exaggerating. I am not over-exaggerating. These punishments are meant to transform all hope to despair. What do you mean? 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 Oh my god, you just won't shut up!
What the heck?
Yeah. I don't understand why you have to pick apart every little stupid thing. Whatever, doesn't matter. In the end, I'm gonna stand alone as the victor, and then everything will be revealed to me. God, I hope not.
Ooh, how exciting.
I think this is the start of a terrifying friendship. Shut up. I would never stoop to the level of a childish criminal like you. Let me just say this. After I have achieved complete victory, you're up next. I'm going to find you and kill you, you understand?
In the name of my family.
For which victory is a foregone conclusion.
You're getting all riled up.
It's like you're the main character of a video game or something. No trash mob for you. I swear, whatever it takes, I will kill you. Sounds like someone needs a nap. Monokuma's laughter peeled across the courtroom and the curtain closed on the case of Chihiro and Mondo. But I knew that wasn't the end. The killing game would still continue, because the mastermind wouldn't let it end. For those of us who were still alive, our worst fear and despair kept on multiplying. It was the kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy in hell had more of a future than us. All of our courage, our effort, our friendship, it felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair. What?
Well, anyway, like I was saying, this is a pretty good spot. Yeah, a really good spot. Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring?
Huh?
Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear and despair charge forward at a speed nothing can hope to match. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group, and you couldn't play your part.
Huh?
You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right?
Huh?
Well, no biggie. Nothing we can do about it now, so just do your best to make things more exciting from now on, okay? After all, that's what everyone wants to see.
I don't understand. There's one thing I'd like to ask you.
As long as you don't want to know my measurements, fire away.
Who is it? The 16th high school student, I mean.
Ooh. My, you really took me by surprise there. I know I said you could ask anything, but super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied. Because you see, that's my ace in the hole. And nobody'd be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their friends.
I can't keep doing this. I just can't handle it. How much more do I have to do?